Hello and welcome to another video. I just finished The Downward Spiral by Nine Inch Nails, and it is an amazing album. It is my second favorite album of all time. Granted, I don't listen to a lot of albums. I mostly listen to singles and just individual songs. However, I listen to an okay amount of albums, not like a ton, but I'm pretty sure I listen to like probably 10 in my lifetime, which isn't that much, but it's okay, and I'll listen to more in the future. However, The Downward Spiral is my second favorite of all time, only topped by Spirit Phone, and that's simply because I just like Spirit Phone a little bit better. However, I'll go through the highlights of the album. Closer is amazing, is an amazing song. Even people who don't like industrial rock and just like experimental music can probably admit that Closer is a funky ass song and it's really, really good. And a lot of people misinterpret it for like a sex song, and that's not what it is at all. It's just basically self deprecating and self hatred. That's basically what the song is about, like an obsession as well. It's not really about sex a whole lot, even though, it says in the chorus, I want to fuck you like an animal. It has nothing really to do with sex. I mean, a little bit, but it's mostly about self-deprecation and also just, again, self-hatred. However, it's still a really good song. It is funky as shit. It is probably Nine Inch Nails' most accessible song. It's their most like one you can actually dance to and one that people won't feel super uncomfortable with, although it is still pretty uncomfortable because this entire album is really uncomfortable because you're watching a man going into a downward spiral of suicide. Like it's going to be uncomfortable as shit. It's not like the Wall or anything like that. It is a little bit similar to the Wall, but it's massively different in terms of execution, although it is, I think, inspired a little bit by the Wall. However, again, it's massively different in execution. It's a lot more bombastic and loud and energetic, which I really like. A lot of tracks feel different from each other, and that's what I really like as well. The album feels very, very coherent. They have coherent themes and it just fits very well together. However, it sounds different and it doesn't get stale. The only song I would say that sounds a little bit like the other ones is I Do Not Want This. However, even that song is still really good. And the mixing on this album is insane. For 1994 or 1993, it's one of those two. I think it's 1994. Might be incorrect, but it's one of those two. This is really good mixing. I would say it's sublime mixing. It's amazing. Again, stuff like Closer, like the bass feels so clean. Everything feels really, really well mixed. You can hear a bunch of details like the weird wobbly synths in the background, or like the weird like synths going in between the ears, or not in between the ears. What am I talking about? In between, going through or basically just going through left and right ears. It sounds really good. The mixing on this album is insane. It's very, very good. Everything is mixed very well and produced very well. Everything just sounds great. It's not a whole lot I can say. The album is coherent. It sounds really great, and it really fits the theme of a guy going insane, and like with super loud guitars to the point where it sounds like white noise on the first track, or by the end of it, it's just super calm because, in my opinion, and in the second to last track, I would say that's actually the climax of the album. A lot of people disagree with me because it's a very, very calm song. However, I think that is the climax of the song where he shot himself. So, yeah. However, Hurt is kind of like, in my interpretation, kind of like a reflecting on that. And then the final guitar riff, the super loud guitar riff, is kind of a realization that he messed up. But that's just my interpretation of it. Yeah, not a whole lot else to say. This album is a masterpiece. It's great. It's very, very. It's aged amazingly. It still sounds modern to this day. It still sounds amazing. All the industrial noises and ambience I really love. I love that in really any song, any album, really ever. However, that's a theme across this entire album. Is very industrial. It's trying to be different in a good way. And I really like that. And again, a lot of these songs sound very, very different from each other. Warm Place is actually a breather on this album, and it's a really great track, and is a kind of a telling to what they would do in the future with a bunch of ambient tracks, which is great. The Warm Place is amazing. It's one of the highlights of the album because again, it's a very calm track. However, it's in between the one of the the two most chaotic songs on the album, or two of the most chaotic songs on this album. So it's just a great breather, and it fits very, very well with the album, even though it is calm, unlike the rest of the tracks on this album. However, the rest of the tracks on this album do have some calm parts. However, again, it flows very well, even though it shouldn't really, but it does. It does flow very, very well, and even when it doesn't, it's justified because, it's not supposed to be super like always consistent and always just super nice flowing. For example, in March of the Pigs, where it kind of just stops for a second and then it starts right back up in the insane part. I really love that part. It's very jarring, and same with Hurt, the end of the guitar riff. It's very, very jarring, but in a good way. And again, even then, when it doesn't have the best transition in the world. Again, it's justifiable, and I'm pretty sure it's like that because it's the downward spiral of a man attempting suicide. So yeah, it's not going to be all 100% super nice transitioning into one another, but even then, the songs transition to each other very, very well as well. But that's basically it. I basically rambled for 6 minutes, but I just really love this album, and yeah, that's basically it. It's my second favorite album of all time. I will see you guys later. Bye.